heard of the Crusades, but have you heard of the Children's Crusade? Led by a boy prophet in 1212, thousands of boys and girls made their way to Jerusalem to convert Muslims to Catholicism in the Children's Crusade. Except they didn't quite make it to the Holy Land. Believing Moses would part the waters, again, the Crusaders traveled south to the Mediterranean, but the miracle never happened. Instead, they were lured onto merchant ships and sold into slavery somewhere in North Africa. Though mentioned in numerous chronicles, the Children's Crusades were mostly legend. There were two religious movements started around the same time by two young boys, so the line of thinking is that the chroniclers at the time just lumped these two together to make a fantastical story about the children going to convert the Muslims. One of the religious movements was started in France by Stephen of Blois, and the other originated in Germany by Nicholas of Cologne. Stephen had supposedly received a letter from Jesus himself that instructed him to go forth and preach the crusade, gathering followers wherever he went. He went to King Philip II of France to tell him, but the king dismissed Stephen. Stubborn Stephen, as we like to call him, still went a-preaching throughout the region, gaining followers who were mostly children. While Stephen was doing his thing in France, Nicholas, from Cologne, Germany, also had a group of youngins wanting to support or join the Crusades. It's not really clear if the French movement had a say or influenced the German movement, or vice versa, or if they acted on their own. We just don't know because of the inconsistent sources. Also, they weren't even real crusades because the Pope had to be the one to approve a crusade for it to become one, and the kiddos never got or even sought out the Pope's approval. So, did they crusade or what? Well, about 20,000 children, that's in quotes because the Crusaders were made up of people who couldn't join regular crusades, like the elderly, children, shepherds, carpenters, pretty much anybody with zero military experience or training. Anyway, they started from Germany and France, possibly joined forces, and tried to make it to Genoa and hopefully find ships that could take them to the Holy Land. Some people might have made it to the other ports, such as Pisa, Marseille, or Brindisi, but most of the Crusaders died of hunger trying to cross the Italian Alps. The few who did make it to Genoa didn't have funds to pay for their passage. The entire group was depending on charity for food, transportation, and shelter, etc. And since they didn't have military training, equipment, or even orders, the Genoese refused to help. Being denied help and a miracle, see intro, a few of the children went home while those who stayed weren't heard of again. See intro for children being sold into slavery. There you go, that is the Children's Crusade. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider subscribing and checking out my content. There's a link in the description to all of my sources. Thank you very much for watching.